Hello and welcome to today's Facecast. We're still in Matthew's Gospel as we were yesterday, a little later though. This is Matthew 5 verses 44, 47, somewhere in there. Jesus is talking to his disciples and he says this very bold statement to them at one stage. He says, "Love your enemies." And he goes on to say, "If you love those who love you, what reward will you get? If you greet only your brothers, what are you doing more than others?" So he poses some questions to his hearers, his listeners. It's all about the attitude we should have to those around us, those who are closest to us and those who are not, who we may consider our enemies. Do you have many enemies? We don't have the sort of tribal enemies we used to have, do we? The people from the next town or the next hill are no longer our enemy. Even people who support different political parties or football teams aren't really our enemy. They might have a different view to us, but they're not really our enemy. We're not really threatened with invasion any longer. And so those people aren't our enemies. The people who live across the water. I wonder who our enemies are these days. People who disagree with something that you want to do. Somebody who has hurt you or offended you in some way. But here, Jesus is saying to his disciples, we mustn't hate our enemies because we disagree with them or because they've been unkind to us. We should love our enemies. And that was a whole lot of difference for the Israelites to hear. They were used to battling and fighting with their enemies, still are in many ways. And so it was natural for them to hate their enemies. But Jesus says, no, love your enemies. If you love those who love you, if you only love those who love you, you could say, what reward will you get? Well, it's relatively easy, isn't it, to be reciprocal in the love that somebody is offering us. But it's much harder to love those who don't love us, who might be hateful towards us. That's the attitude Jesus said we should have. We should love those who are our enemies. If you love those who love you, what reward will you get? If you greet only your brothers, what are you doing more than others? So it's saying this business about caring for other people and being responsible in our attitude towards other people is not just to do with those in our immediate birth family. It's not just those who live in our street or go to the same school, pub, church, or whatever as we do. We really should have that open relationship with everybody and be willing to greet those even though they may be different to us. To tell you the truth, we're very good at this in Britain, much more so than people think. A lot of people think we're a very racist country. I don't think we are. We've been a racist country in the past, but we've taken great strides to overcome that. And we are one of the fairest, most open, trusting, accepting, compassionate countries in the world, as I said a day or two ago. And this kind of thing is at the heart of it that Jesus taught his disciples. We should be open to, hear from, and dialogue with those with whom we might normally fight. That way, we can generate greater understanding and tolerance, compassion, and mercy towards one another. Have a good day. See you soon.